9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
All right, beautiful people. We just finished our first Monday Night Raw in the Netflix era. If you're watching the post show, you just heard CM Punk talk about what's next for him, and he clearly states the Royal Rumble and that he's coming for Gunther as well as Cody. He also said 46 is nothing but a number, just putting on a pretty solid match with probably one of the best superstars in the world. So wanted to get our takes on what we saw on Monday Night Raw here, and I got the gang back with me. I'm going to bring everybody in. The People's Nightmare is here. The PR Princess, the Sweetest Oos, and of course the Councilmen are all joining me. If you watched the watch along, we appreciate you guys for joining us. And if you're filling in the chat again, we want to hear your takes on what you thought about the show, grade it, things like that. That's exactly what we're about to do. So I want to go around the table here and just talk about how we, I guess the first 15 minutes, how we started the show. I think there's a lot of chatter about would this man show up? What's he going to do? How is it going to feel? And then we got the news that just yesterday that Dwayne confirmed he was going to be here in LA for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And I don't think we got the version of Dwayne that we expect to get. We got complete corporate Kane, Dwayne Johnson. That's what we got. Suit and tie. I'm going to start with Honey, because I think Honey has the most passionate opinion about this on the heels of our Tribal Combat ending. But what did you feel about the beginning of Raw, starting with Dwayne Johnson and I'd say not necessarily the final boss?
I mean, I saw nothing but the final boss. I didn't see a suit and tie. I saw final boss gear. I heard final boss music. I saw the People's Championship, and I'm thinking, you know, this is going to be just a continuation of what we were going to see before when he said he was coming back, and I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Dwayne coming out here giving shout outs to Cody Rhodes when the last thing he said to him was that their story has just begun, and they're hugging, and you know, I'm not sure what to make of it. And then shout outs to Roman Reigns and everything like that. I'm not sure what to make of that, but it was a great way to start the show, obviously, because it is still, no matter what, this is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and but I just don't think it was like you said, it just wasn't on my bucket list or to-do list for 2025. I thought we were going to kick things off final boss style, and apparently it was a little underwhelming for me, just a tad.
Yeah, that wasn't the final boss for me. That was Maui.
Yeah, basically.
Courtney, what did you think about the opener, which was just Dwayne being Dwayne? Wasn't The Rock outside the music.
Not The Rock, but I think it does be very interesting. And also, I think because they want to do first impressions with the Netflix people, because they were all sitting in the front row and they didn't want to get too crazy. So I get it. And also the match kind of did stagger just a little bit over an hour, because I thought at least there would have been a lot more mayhem than we expected. And also, I don't know if anybody caught this, but I saw the eye-to-eye interaction between The Rock and Paul Heyman, because there was a lot of eye-to-eye when Roman was trying to, after he got to Ula Fala, and I said, is there something we don't know about? Is there something that's hidden? So that's the question, and also I'm intrigued on what The Rock's going to do tomorrow. Of course, his daughter Ava is the general manager, but also what else is he going to put out tomorrow in NXT?
Dion, what do you think about The Rock's opening speech for Monday Night Raw and how he introduced this Netflix era?
I think given how we last saw him, even at Bad Blood and even like right after Mania, I think we were all expecting like, okay, we're gonna like this rocket to WrestleMania for Final Boss Rock, whatever that storyline would lead to, whether it was Roman, whether it was Cody, however it panned out. I thought we were gonna get more of that. Like Courtney said, I understand that this is the first one on Netflix. We have a lot of corporate people there. He was corporate Rock tonight. He He came out, he shook hands and kissed babies, essentially. It made me think that the storyline for him might be over, especially with the conclusion of the match right after he came out. I think our expectations are always a lot more than what actually happens most times, just because we have these like grand plans of like The Rock's gonna come back and like beat someone up, or we were hoping for a rock bottom at the end of that, but we didn't get it. It makes me think, and I never thought I'd say this like right now, that Bloodline story might be done. And that was that. The Rock has no more stake in the game. It looks like he has no more beef with anybody else. He and Cody are sipping their vodkas and tequilas together, and that's it. I think we're done with that. I don't know what other capacity we see The Rock in. Like last year, I don't think we'll see him at that capacity this year for Mania, unfortunately. But it's only January 6th, so we'll see. But after that, it does make me hopeful for the real main event of WrestleMania 41, Rock versus Cody. So,
Councilman, thoughts on Dwayne and I guess his introduction of the Netflix era for the WWE?
Before I answer that, just to let you know, for tomorrow, there's plenty of parking. There's a whole shrine parking structure, and then 2 more other parking lots right next to it.
Oh, I appreciate that. I just hope they don't hit me for $50. Don't do that.
Oh, no, that's there. Now that'd be the question. But there are a few parking structures like around that area. So
okay.
I think it did just what it was supposed to. As a new product on a new platform and a part of a piece of this product that is also new. Jesus, bro, why does everybody want to call me when I'm doing something, man? Shit. Oh, my apologies. But yeah, I think it did just what it was supposed to do. Introduce the product, introduce the people that are there, let them know like what this is, what we're going to do, and what you can look forward to. So it's like, I get it. I understood what was being done. I also understand too that we're seeing of this being the reality era as well too. So it's like, we know that some of these people are playing characters. And so that's something that is also now going to be shown because we know that they're showing stuff behind the scenes, just like the WrestleMania behind the scenes stuff. So we know we're not, they've taken kind of away the lure, like us believing like how like for Santa Claus and stuff. And I think this was a prime example of them showing like what the business is. And then as far as the match is concerned and everything else, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm glad that shit over. I'm so glad that stuff over because here's what this taught me looking at this. Seeing that match let me know this Bloodline story is done. Bury it. It don't go no further, and the reason why is it just don't work no more. Like it you know what it remind me of? Saved by the Bell when they went to college.
Hey, those were good.
Those are good episodes.
They were good episodes. Okay. But are they the best? Or is it Saved by the Bell?
I would say Saved by the Bell when Tori showed up. I thought the semester was over. And then we get a whole new semester with somebody else and no Jesse, no Kelly, but that's neither here nor there. My bad.
Again, so it was like it was cool.
No comment.
But it wasn't Saved by the Bell when it was at Bayside High. No.
There's no Mr.
And that's
Bell.
what we got.
Yeah, you're right.
But what it also showed me though is that if we still got the potential to get Rock and Roman, and we don't require the bloodline anymore. And I think that's what this showed. I think it showed us, let's kill off that full story and Roman and Rock alone with this whole stance of high chief and tribal chief. That can stand to be a ticket for WrestleMania that don't require over 8 more superstars to be involved. Right. And even to Honey's point, now we get to see what Jacob can be capable of as a singles competitor. Tama Tonga now, since his partner's out, and even Solo. And then now Jay, Sammy, and Jimmy, and the rest of them can now go do their thing instead of trying to come back to continue to make this story work. So I think just that was kind of the overall thing I saw for this Raw is what they did with SmackDown and make us look forward to these new chapters. Like, these are the things that are closing. These are the things that we're getting ready to set up.
But one thing that will never change about that story is that there is only one OTC, and that is Roman Reigns. He still did win, which I was excited about.
Well, the OG tribal chief is Joe Hendry, but you know, that's a whole nother
I beg your pardon.
whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? That's
Where did this come from?
it's the magic of him, and he makes the tribes believe. He's the chief of believing. It don't make no sense. That's why I don't get mad at that. You know that didn't make sense.
I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
And I'm sorry, it never gets old.
I did that. It's fine. It was relevant. You know what? I'm more reserved. I didn't like it, but I understand it. I understand why Dwayne came out and put his best face, because he's a recognizable star, and you want to introduce a new audience to somebody who they recognize, who they know from outside of wrestling, to introduce his first passion, which is wrestling. So from that standpoint, I'm pretty sure they get whatever they need to do from a viewership standpoint. I'm pretty sure we'll get the numbers tomorrow in that first hour about how big they were, how many records they set. We already know the ticket prices were high. He announced that people did show up to purchase that gate. So I think from a business standpoint, having The Rock there, announcing it ahead of time, they did all the numbers they want to do. So I'm going to hold out just a very delusional bit of hope that there is some type of relevance to him still dressing the final boss way. Maybe he didn't want to get into much character in front of the Netflix execs, in front of his daughters and his mom, but I'm going to hold out a little bit of delusional hope for that number 31 in a month's time, that he does something dastardly with all his new TKO shares that are so public that we know that he owns. So
I know, right?
But he also had a little bit of inclusion, just so you guys know, if you did not watch Monday Night Raw, it was a 3-hour show by the book, maybe a little bit over by like 2 or 3 minutes. We got 4 matches on the night, and we kicked it off with tribal combat between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns for the rightful heir of the Ula Fala. And it was a straightforward match. I still couldn't define to you what tribal combat is, because it pretty much stays around ringside and in the ring, and there's not much Samoan influence, if I'm being honest. But pretty much anything goes type of match. I thought Solo wrestled very well. If you haven't been on Solo's bandwagon in the past several months or whatever, very good performer. And I think he shows that by wrestling with probably one of the most protected performers in the company, and his cousin Roman Reigns. I thought he had a good showing, and of course he came up short. I don't know what this means with Ula Fala, but we know next Roman Reigns wants to be acknowledged in front of a large audience, and that's going to happen on the 27th in Atlanta. What did you guys think of the match between Roman and Sola? Not too much shenanigans, and also I want to get you guys' take on how, we kind of know why, but I want to get you guys' take about how Jey was kept out of this whole thing. Councilman, I'll start with you.
I just think it go back to the whole thing of Jey not being in there because of this story is over. The story is over. And the thing is, not in a bad way either. I think all of them have excelled to new heights so well, even with, just as you mentioned, like with Solo. Like Solo has grown so much with his in-ring performance. But is he at Roman level? No, not yet. But he still needs time to get there anyway. So it's like, yo, let us see what he can do with everybody else. So this actually gives us a chance to, like, yo, let's get him from consistently taking on this big dog who we really know, like, you can't defeat like that without jumping him. And let's really let Solo start to be this terror around SmackDown and get himself up to that. So I thought this was good storytelling for the match. The match overall, I would give maybe between a 6 or 7 out of 10. One, because to your point, tribal combat, it's like y'all didn't do nothing. And you put in more work when you do a Donnybrook match. And I don't even know what the fuck a Donnybrook is. But yet y'all deck it out with, like, y'all had a fucking drum barrel there and a whole bar set up. So you mean to tell me, like, tribal combat, we couldn't get different lights and stuff? Like, y'all don't define what tribal combat really is. And so it was just like, okay, we had a few cool spots, but it was a good storytelling match. So I'll just leave it at that. It was a good storytelling match, 6 out of 7. But I'm just glad I hope it's done.
I have an extra thought about Jey that I'll bring up after we go around the bend real quick. But yeah, Tribal Combat to me should look like a Black Panther challenge, and it don't look nothing like that.
Nothing at all.
People should be shoulders bumping around the ring. I need to see some spears, something. But
put some sand around the ring. I don't know. Put some sand. Give me something floral around there.
Fighting a sand circle. Honey, yeah. What'd you think of the match?
I think the match did what it needed to do. I was a little skeptical about it starting the show, but considering the way it ended and how it ended and how a little underwhelmed we all were with the result. I mean, not with the results, but with how everything else transpired. I think that yeah, it was the right place for it. Because it was something that we kind of weren't expecting to happen that way. You know, with Dwayne coming out at the end and then all of a sudden acknowledging Roman Reigns. But there was many times where I was looking at myself and where I was looking at the TV screen and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Dwayne, are you going to attack him from behind? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Like I was just hoping for something else. But the stare down was quite strong. So I think that's something that to look at. But I don't know. I'm not sure where to go or where this goes from here and what's next for Roman Reigns. But I'm just glad that he did win. And he has his Ula follow back. So we'll see what January 27th brings.
Courtney, in Tribal Combat, how did you view the match kind of just being straight up, and was the right call made?
From a purpose, it did deliver a lot of storytelling wise. I'm going to be very honest. I thought at least it would be a little bit of like Mortal Kombat or that show on Netflix, Squid Games. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought, because at least it would have been like so much craziness. And ironically enough, you have people from that show in the audience, but it did feel a little underwhelming throughout the match because there were some spots here and there. And I thought we would at least get some shenanigans. We did get some, but it should have been a lot more. And just the dragging of it, because there was a lot of back and forth going through it. And also, I'm okay with Roman winning the match. And I thought at least there could have been somebody like backstabbing Roman and Solo or somebody from the Bloodline to at least like ump it up a little bit. But the match did what it had to do. I'm aware, as I mentioned, there was a lot of executives in Netflix that was in the audience expecting what they want to deliver. And they got what they wanted. So I'm happy with Roman winning. This starts the next chapter. I'm also interested on what's he going to do since Tribal Combat is over. And also it does give opportunity for Solo, Jacob, and also everybody else within the Bloodline for other opportunities, because I kind of want to see Jacob go through almost everyone from that roster, from Braun Breaker to LA Knight to Shinsuke Nakamura. I want to see him go through everybody.
So, Deanna, I'm going to get your thoughts on the match and how you felt about the decision, but the consensus so far is that they feel like this is final, if you would. A key component of Tribal Combat is the loser has to acknowledge the other as the tribal chief, which we haven't seen happen yet. I don't know if we're going to push this out 2 weeks into Atlanta, which is why I don't know if Solo accepts the results of Tribal Combat, if I'm being honest.
It is January 6th.
How do you feel this story? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. January 6th, traditionally, we don't accept the results of the election day, but we won't get into that too much further. But yeah. What did you think of the match? And obviously Dwayne being at the end of the match, but that's a key component. They need Solo to kind of get on bended knee here. He ain't did that yet.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until you just said it. Like the acknowledgement of Roman being like now the tribal chief. Like I think they just said it. He can drop the O off of it now. He is the tribal chief. So if that happens, that could be the finality of it, but I'm almost like, where does everybody else go after this too? Courtney gave some good ones, some dream matches for Jacob and everything too, but I think the right decision was made. Wait, let me take that back. Hold on. I didn't think we'd get like a definitive answer or a definitive finish tonight, but for it being the first match on Netflix, a definitive winner, he gets his Ulafala back. And it's just like Will said too. It's that opportunity to have just The Rock and him, which I didn't think of either until he said it. It's an opportunity for that to just be them. This match gave you everything. Again, tribal combat is a weird one, just because it's just it's a no DQ match. I think more or less they want to be respectful of Samoan and Polynesian heritage. I think, especially with The Rock and Roman and that family and all those ties, but. Served its purpose. We'll see what happens, man. It does feel final a bit just to get done with the bloodline here. Again, it was the biggest story they've had for the last, 4 years. It feels like it may have run its course up until tonight. And for a stage like Netflix on Raw, or Raw on Netflix, I mean, I think it was a perfect place to do it. Will we see The Rock anytime soon? I don't know. We might, like you said, we might see Dwayne. We might not ever see The Rock, the final boss, anymore. We might just continue to see Dwayne until something jumps off next. And I don't know what that exciting incident is going to be. Like, it's going to have to be something that gets us to WrestleMania with Roman and The Rock. If that's what the people still want, but we'll see.
Yes, that's exactly what the people still want, DR.
I polled the people. They're 50-50.
So I'm going to go around the bend real quick. Yes or no, everybody. Does Solo Sikoa accept the results of tribal combat and acknowledge Roman Reigns? Dion.
Would the whole Timu bloodline have to then acknowledge Roman as
just Solo.
Just Solo.
Solo has to say, I acknowledge you as my tribal chief.
Oh, I love you. Solo might be done after that. So that gives you another storyline. Yes, I think he does. I'll say yes, just because I want to see what Jacob does.
Councilman.
Nah.
Honey.
No way.
Courtney.
No.
That lets me know that we are only at the top of the 6. We're still going.
Which means the bloodline story isn't over.
And Rikishi got more kids on the way. So,
oh my God!
Tell me about it.
Honestly, though,
Rikishi got more kids in the way.
All I know is if you're gonna have another tribal combat match, at least put some tiki torches or something around the place.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to get
that's a little problematic now.
You don't want to get too stereotypical or
Usos can't come back out in the grass skirts.
No, I'm just saying, like, for the festiveness of it all. Look at how Peter Maivia used to come out. It was very dramatic, like, you know what I mean, like, and I'm saying, like, according to their culture, like, in a tributing way, not in
like even Usos gotta go.
I'm just
colorful war paint again.
Yeah, but tiki torches don't have the same aspect like they do no more now.
Oh no, not since the whole.
Yeah, it got a bad rep now.
Thing.
Yeah,
if it was like a different attire or a different dress for this match, that could work. You know,
but also
that could have been.
All I need is the spear that Apollo Crews had when he was at Omar. Just give me one of them joints.
They rounded that sucker off. They gave him something else after that because man carrying around a spear, man. Come on.
But can I ask this as well though? Do y'all not see a space where they might not even do any of that and just move forward?
Yeah.
Like
I feel like well, this is a SmackDown show. We have to remember this is a SmackDown thing. I feel like USA, they have Roman Reigns, but they would want to keep some aspect of that since they lost Monday Night Raw.
Here's the question. Do they have Roman Reigns?
Oh yeah, Roman and Cody ain't moving. They already announced that.
No. Remember, Roman is a free agent.
Yeah, he is. He never got drafted.
So Roman will continue to stay on Raw.
They'll bounce back and forth. They have to at this point. Like,
but I'm thinking, but with Netflix going out and look what they just said. When is his next appearance? The 27th on Raw. So I think you get a Raw run for WrestleMania right now.
They got to gas it up a little bit because it's Netflix first few weeks, first month.
And SmackDown could do without Roman right now, if I'm being honest. Like, I think they're starting to now get enough of their structure down to where it's like you don't require Roman to be there. It does struggle.
I do.
He gonna be on Raw.
No, I'm just being dramatic.
I was gonna say you still get him. Still get him each week. You just don't get him on Honey Night SmackDown anymore.
Yeah, I know. I can't get him on my day. I can't get him on my day though, boy. You moved over.
He'll come back.
It's just going to be interesting to sort of see where they go, where the Temu Bloodline goes from here. I mean, there's no need to acknowledge Solo anymore. So
yeah, you can't acknowledge Solo.
What now?
Right.
That's the big question. Is like
that
what
might
now?
be your storyline though. That might be your like Bloodline storyline now, because everybody else from the original Bloodline is. I mean, we talked about Jey, right? Or we will talk about Jey. Jey ain't in no group no more. He ain't never going to be in a group anymore. So
you finna see the dismantling of the Bloodline, and it's going to end in Solo and Jacob going at it.
So last thought I have, because I want to go to the Liv Morgan Rhea stuff, and this is my Jey thought. I made a big fuss about this at War Games, and that's Jey came out last instead of Roman, which was a big thing to me. Do we ever round the table, rack it back around to Roman versus Jey for the Ula Fala? Because remember, Jey was like, hey, if I do this again, we all equals now. I'm not a little bro no more.
I don't think it's necessary. Like, I like, as much as that fits the next chapter of Roman from going from the big dog to the tribal chief, all of that works for him. For Jey, I see Jey moving now into just being a singles competitor, going for gold, becoming champion. Like, I think that's more important to him now, to be the world heavyweight champion, than to have to go across Roman for the Ula Fala. Like, I think he knows where he's at hierarchy wise in the family.
But remember the Thunder Dome era, he had this attitude where he was like, well, why can't I be that? Why can't I be the veteran from A? And you can argue right now that he pushing more units than Roman.
Well, as a superstar, but like as tribal chief, like that's a big thing. Like, that's a huge thing that you got to be groomed for and brought through and stuff like that. And we've seen that with Roman. Like, Roman has main evented WrestleManias. Roman has shown that he can carry the company. Jey is just showing that he's popular and that he's selling units, like you said, but we still don't know, can Jey carry the brand by himself? Because remember, Trick is very popular, but he's not carrying the NXT brand. So I think he focused.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you guys think we circle back to Jey versus Roman in any capacity for the family?
I don't know if the Ula Fala be on the line or anything. I think we might be past that for them. Roman might have a championship that he's after now, because after tasting singles gold for his first time with their Intercontinental title, he might be wanting something else. He's already tweeted out. I think he may have tweeted out something about this year. No, that was somebody else with a championship this year. But I can see him competing for like a world title this year. And whoever might have that, whether it's Roman, whether it's Cody or Gunther, I think that's his path more than anything now.
Honey, why you look so disdained?
She wants Bloodline.
Oh, never mind.
No, I'm also looking at the post show too.
Post show, yeah.
Courtney, honey, you guys have thoughts on Jey possibly circling back to Roman like he did in 2020?
I feel like it could go back to it. I feel like it all does come down to that, because technically the whole Bloodline thing started with Jey and Roman. Technically. So, I mean, I wouldn't see why they go back to that, but I think we can revisit that again to the point where Roman will actually acknowledge Jey Uso, and by that point pass the torch to him.
Y'all can't tell me y'all didn't see Roman trying to hold in that yeet in that shark cage.
Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously. You already said it once.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely no longer no yeet. Like, nah, you acknowledge the yeet.
Yep.
You-
Starting to a little bit.
Probably lost him.
You think we circle back to that, Courtney? You think Jey gets a shot at the Ulafala or to carry the family's brand?
Not the Ulafala, but I wouldn't mind seeing them go back to him and Roman fighting it out again, because that would kind of revisit a little bit of history. And also, people tend to forget about the world title. There's also another opportunity that Jey could do, which something he did not do last year, and that is win Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah, they kind of played us on that with him all over the posters and stuff like that.
I know, right?
So that's another route. If he doesn't go for world title, Money in the Bank is also opportunity as well.
I see it. Speaking of titles, we did get a title change this evening where we had Rhea Ripley taking on Liv Morgan, and that might be a storyline that I do feel is final. After a year of back and forth, we even got a moment where Dom tried to beg for Rhea back. That felt like a fight finale of a sitcom if I've ever seen it. Rhea gets her title back. No big surprises. Very good match. But she overcame the odds. Nobody came to Rhea's aid. She kind of overcame Dom, Raquel, and Liv all by herself.
Yes, Ed, don't mean to cut you off, but she just said she's happy to get past Liv and Judgment Day and move past that. So we might be seeing the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been it.
Until Solo joins the Judgment Day.
Hey, I like that new theme song though. It kind of fits. I'm rolling with it.
Oh yeah, and I was disappointed about it, but then as I thought about it more and more, I was like, okay, I get it, because if you look at this as Rhea's story, then this starts to make more sense. I was looking at this from Liv Morgan's reign, and it's like, no, this whole thing was Rhea's story, and us getting Rhea back to her title. Not
she's the main character.
Yeah, she was the main character. I was like, oh well, shit. If you put it like that, then yeah, this makes sense. But Liv had a good run. I'm dealing with it now, but I was sure just kind of like at first I was like, why are we doing this again? But I get it. I just now am, I guess, even ask y'all the question of just where does this leave the current women's division on Raw though? Now that you have this juggernaut back as the women's world champion, and then who can you see her dropping the title to currently right now?
I think that's the perfect time to start building up other people, especially when you're going to have runner-ups in the IC title picture. I think EO is right there to be built up. Then you still got Pure Fusion Collective. I think you got to give Rhea the title defenses in a run that she absolutely deserves. And Liv, I think Liv bounces back right away because we're doing this whole transfer portal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Liv is probably the perfect antagonist for Tiffany, if I'm being honest.
I can see that.
I can totally see that. But yeah, I'm gonna throw that to y'all. What did you guys think of Liv's title reign and I guess the match? Because this is Rhea's moment part 2, because she kind of got hurt a couple times during the first run.
It did not make it. It wasn't. This definitely made Liv, I guess, again, I can see becoming a women's champion again. And I think it also showed her strength now, because having to take, like you say, 2 riptides back to back, it's like, okay, we now can see like, yo, Liv is a real competitor to like compete with. So when you start seeing her compete with everybody else, like say like a Lyra Valkyria or Io Sky, it matches up now. So I think like it did what it was supposed to. I won't say it was I ain't gonna say it was a bad title run. I think it did just what it needed to do. That title run made that she made that belt relevant, and it made her into a better superstar.
Courtney.
I definitely want to give Liv Morgan her props because she showed a lot of growth during her title reign. And that was something, because I know everybody said mid, but she really did show up and showed a lot. of growth throughout that title. She held her own. She had the most outsmarting throughout this whole reign, and she did it so well. And I wouldn't be shocked if she did compete in a title again, possibly against Miss Tiffy. That's something to show. But it also showed that she can be on the not the same level, but compete with an Io Sky, with a Lyra Valkyria, with members of Pure Fusion Cocktail, or even possibly a Bianca Belair. Wait, what did I miss? What?
No, I'm sorry, Courtney. I'm just laughing at a comment.
Right.
Oh, I was like,
I was too.
I was like, wait, what did I miss?
David Hall, how old are you?
Right. Because like he kept throwing some, but then I was like, all right, he got one more time to throw another one of these. But then this one actually was really good. I was like, okay, all right, you got your chances back. That one was good.
But anyways, just to wrap up my point, I do see Liv. Now, I know we didn't see Becky tonight, but I feel like Liv is going to have a rivalry with Becky because it doesn't even have to involve the title. Because there's already a lot of stuff that happened even right before she dropped it to Becky. So it could be a possibility her and Becky have a rivalry where there's a lot of storytelling in place. And as for Rhea, I could see Io Sky. If she doesn't get the Intercontinental title, I could see Lyra Valkyria getting a shot, possibly creating a possible storyline with her. So there's a lot of options Rhea can go with.
So I do want to throw a question out there after everybody's answered this one. Think about it now before once y'all finish. Who will face Rhea at WrestleMania? But finish asking the original question. But I just want y'all to pop that in y'all head. Who does she face?
Okay. And I think this episode showed that we can move forward and we don't really need like a Charlotte or a Becky because this is a big platform for them to not be on, at least for an appearance. I'm more curious about do we see a clean split between Dom and Liv now, based on what Dom tried to do in the ring, where she can kind of move forward with just Raquel.
I think that'd be dope. I would love to see her in her Shawn Michaels Diesel mode.
So Dirty Dom is out by himself now. Is that what we're saying?
Dom's a common denominator, man. He might make another woman a first-time champion.
Yep. Hey, man,
let me tell Lola to link up with Dom real quick.
Hey, there you go. There you go. That's what she needs right there.
What if this just becomes like Dom's thing, man? Like like
I said that.
Chicken tender slut and title giver.
Oh my god!
What you want?
He can't even get a title for himself.
I mean, he was an NXT North American champion,
right? But he didn't.
He defended it.
No, right. no. Relax. But what I'm saying is, he didn't get that on his own.
What you mean? He had to pin the person.
He had the help of Judgment Day. He didn't get it on his own.
Who hasn't?
Who had what? Preliminaries, man. Semantics.
I cannot.
You know what I'm saying? He the one pinned him. That's how, and he's the title winner. I don't recall all this help that was thrown around.
Help.
Yeah, thoughts on Liv and Rhea and Rhea getting her moment.
Yeah, I mean,
my bad. I'm so sorry.
You for me at least, after making it so plain and simple that this is Rhea's story. I'd really love to see Liv go off and do her, Shawn Michaels and Diesel thing with Raquel. I think that could be pretty dope, especially for that division, because I don't think they have anything like that going on anywhere within that division like that. So within the women's division, but this one, it ended the right way. That Rhea got her title back. It's just like, who do you set her up for next? And I know we get into a thought of like thinking about who's next or whatever, but I enjoyed the match. Match was solid. Dom might be on his own. Judgment Day is done. We finished a lot. We finished a lot of stories tonight. It feels like, it's especially to start off the Netflix era, and wherever that leads Rhea 2 next. We'll see. Could Liv move to SmackDown? Could they afford her to move to SmackDown at the moment?
Yeah,
I think so.
I
I
think
don't
so.
think it would hurt Liv at all. I actually think it would boost the SmackDown's women's roster. Actually,
Besides, you had that earlier interaction with Tiffy Time earlier in the year, you know, where they had the little crossover going on with Nia
Yeah.
Jax and stuff. So
Mhm.
Tiffy Time could threaten to take Dom again and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
keep teasing them and stuff like that because she got the belt.
Yep,
Mhm.
you can do that right there.
Yeah.
But,
I think
honey,
we're done
are
with this one, though. I think we're done.
are we done, honey,
With-
with Liv and Rhea?
I would like to be.
I'm a
I
big
really-
fan of people getting their lickbacks and spite.
You are, man. You want rematch after rematch. We're gonna have the same match every month.
I would
instead,
like to
booking.
be. We've seen Liv and Rhea and Liv all year. I think I'm good with it and content with how the story finished. As far as what would be next for Rhea, think about who's not around and who hasn't been around, and think about what might happen tomorrow. You might see some women tomorrow from New Year's Evil getting moved on up. By the time Rumble season comes in, you know, Rhea Ripley would definitely need a worthy challenger by then. But yeah, congrats to Rhea. I was definitely wrong on my pick because I thought Liv was gonna find a way to swoop her way out of that. But it is about time that we pretty much dismantle the Judgment Day. Nobody has titles anymore. It's time for it to end. Call it a day. Well done.
Okay.
Good story. Good run.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was decent. But
It
I
was a good
mean,
run. It was a good run for Liv this time out, though.
again,
Liv did great. Liv was
Yeah, it was a good
phenomenal.
run for her.
I don't
Yeah,
care I don't care what anybody says. Liv
she made me
did what
actually
did
care.
her job. She did her
Made-
job, and she has definitely established herself as a main event player. You can't say she's mid Morgan no more. After all that slander and talk they did all throughout the earlier, beginning of 2024. She is she doesn't need a title to be relevant, though. She
Came into her own.
there is another title she hasn't won, so she can go for it.
And if you look at it like it's Rhea's story, she played the villain very well.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
She played an excellent villain. Like this was, if you made this into a Marvel movie, like
It was very
this-
Batgirl Harley Quinn,
and
Mhm.
Batman lost it all. It was like Batman getting thrown into that hole where Bane be at, and she
Yeah.
had to come back, and all of this stuff is gone, and Harley Quinn just sitting at the top holding her championship. It was. Oh,
It's good.
Yeah.
Next week's Raw, they're gonna have to like really set some things forth, like for real. I mean, I think there's only one storyline out of this whole evening that's going to continue for sure, and that's from our next match between Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre, where we saw Jey kind of steal one. I think I'm the only one that said no. I think somebody else said that Jey would win too, but good match overall. Drew probably unexpectedly got too cocky. Jey steals one. You can say he got his revenge from Drew being the attacker weeks ago, but like I mentioned earlier, Drew's hell bent on just taking down the Bloodline. He's kind of in the same space as Kevin was, where he wants his redemption from 2 years ago at Clash of the Castle, where he didn't win in front of his homeland and family, and he took out Jimmy, took out Jey. I'm pretty sure Roman's on the map and somewhere, and I'm pretty sure Solo is gonna be a culprit as well. But what did you guys think of the match? And of course, we know that Jey wasn't in earlier because they couldn't waste the yeet. And of course, Jey was getting high with Travis Scott backstage. That's possibly also why he missed the tribal combat.
my man walked out with a full blunt on camera
On live television.
and was blowing that thing down the steps. What Pat McAfee say? Can I get some of that sage over here too?
Jey still gonna see this and be like,
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And
Nah, there ain't no way. There ain't no way, yo. The way Travis Scott was, because Travis Scott walked up like the blunt had started back there.
right?
He didn't just like that.
No, he didn't.
He was already back there getting blood. They was probably just sitting there waiting, and they just giving them their cue. Yeah, let me get a little bit before I go. Before I go out. That's good.
Hilarious.
Yeet. And then Travis go out. I'm telling you, somebody saw the both of them getting high.
Hilarious.
No, it's hilarious.
I may be the only one that thinks this, but I think that was it for that match.
Really?
I don't think we going past that. Like, I really think a lot of these that we saw, that's it.
I mean, Jay and Drew went at it all year last year too.
Yeah, like
so there might be.
Yeah, I want these
that
two
might be
going
legit.
for gold. Yeah, I want these two going for gold and worried about the Rumble.
Yeah,
like these are two legitimate people that should be wearing gold in 2025, and I think that should be their focus. I think that's something we should get back to anyway with a lot of these superstars going for the champion.
I think the way Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre's story is written, I think it's like Jay's The Rock and Drew's Triple H. Like they're always going to cross paths, but they're always going to be on parallels as well and come up. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
But it was all
good. It was a good match. I was honestly expecting Drew to walk away with the win, but it definitely makes more sense because you just want to give Drew a reason to keep getting more and more pissed off at the Bloodline and just give enough ammo for him to build up that anger and then eventually land it on one of the big boys, meaning Roman or Solo or whoever, because it just seems like he wants to take out everybody. I don't think anybody's safe.
I agree with King Mike Hall. I think Drew should go to SmackDown.
Honey brings up a very interesting point, and I'm only thinking about Drew from last year. We saw Drew McIntyre take CM Punk's bracelet, and they made a big deal out of that for months.
Oh my God! If he
Does
takes
Drew McIntyre steal the Ula Fala?
Oh man.
Ooh.
Is that a possibility? Is that a story arc that we can live off of for like a few weeks to a month?
So here's my question though. Could y'all see Drew McIntyre versus The Rock?
No, I just want Drew to walk around in promos in like the city with the Ula Fala on.
We're not getting the Ula Fala. And I, for some reason, I don't feel like they're gonna allow him to disrespect that. The bracelet thing was personal, but you can.
The Ula Fala is a sacred item.
Yeah,
that's not something you want to. You don't want to cross the lines with that.
Yeah, I don't think they play
pushing boundaries on Netflix though, and we posted.
It's still a lot.
Right, but it's a difference when it's something, a specific culture. It's Samoan culture, like it's legit. Like
I'm pretty sure ain't no Samoans gonna walk up on Drew McIntyre in the street like, "Hey, we saw what you did on television."
I would disagree with that. Disagree with that.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would think that.
Yeah,
this one is very big.
If The Rock wasn't on the board, then you might have something to where that might have happened. But with him being on the board and the way he talks about this stuff, I don't think he wants anybody touching that Ula Fala in any type of storyline like that. Because like watching because again, as soon as you see this happen, like nah, that's like when Hulk Hogan came out tonight. Like nah, that was a bad look. That's
terrible. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
see, my thing is, I feel like that. Maybe this is what it is, because now that Councilman did that, I'm thinking about the first time Roman did it when he put the Ula Fala back on and we got that huge pop. I feel like we should have never got that moment, because then tonight would have been so stupid. Like not stupid, but just so not so lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so you guys felt like that match was a lackluster ending with Jay and Drew, but definitive.
Jay and Drew.
I think it was lackluster.
I would just say it did what it was supposed to do. It was if you needed a match that didn't have a lot of high stake, but something you're familiar with, and both of these men are the two most popular men of last year. Drew McIntyre had the best feud. Jey Uso, of course, the fucking Yeet Mania running wild. Like you want to put those two on television, and this was the one story thing that we could do. And you got to remember, too, Drew technically ain't supposed to be here. He's not, because Bronson Reed got hurt. So they had to bring him back early anyway. So that's why I say I think this may just be a one-off, because it doesn't make sense to try to bring this back after we did have this for a year, have them on PLEs, and there's nothing that Jay has done to make Drew really go that insane. Like, yo, you could pick somebody else. to go after is if you're still going after this whole bloodline and they ruin my stuff thing. Now you can go after Roman. Go straight for Roman. And if you're gonna do anything, go straight for Roman.
Might as well.
Yeah, it's time to punch that. No other side characters. Go for Roman.
Mm-hmm. He went through everybody already.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Courtney?
Ooh, I think for both of them, I was actually not surprised that Jey actually won because I really thought Drew would pick up the victory. But I think after this whole thing with them is over. But also, we're definitely going to see a lot of opportunity for them. Of course, we're going to see them at the Rumble. We're definitely going to see them doing singles titles. I would not be shocked if they were part of Money in the Bank this year.
Ooh, yeah.
And that would be something because especially what Drew had last year, that was a little bit of a lackluster. So that also could be interesting too. And also with Drew, he's kind of been like ramming through every single member of the bloodline. And if he wants to get somebody, he's going to
Hold up.
What?
I'm a rant. Hold on. Sorry. Shades are coming on. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
What?
It wasn't seen in the US on Netflix, but there was a Wyatt 6 symbol that popped up during a Miz and Karrion Kross segment tonight. I didn't see it. Did y'all see it? Stupid.
No.
Unless it happened when I was buying my ticket for tomorrow.
Proceed.
Oh boy.
I did leave for a little second or two.
There was because I was like, there's a camera.
I didn't see Miz and Karrion Kross on the screen at
Well,
all.
no, you remember
There were New Day segments in the audience as well
And
that
we
they
got-
didn't show. They only showed it on social media.
and we had ads, so that may be what filled in during ad time. So remember, because Mayor asks, like, what do you think they're getting that don't get commercials? That may have been when they were showing that.
Yeah, international audience also is known to get different stuff as
Mm-hmm.
well. So they'll work the kinks out.
The arena
Yeah.
teardown.
Dion, what's next for Drew? And then, you know what? Everybody answered this after Dion answered this. Should Drew be considered a favorite to win the Royal Rumble? Consider how big he was last year.
Has he won a Rumble yet?
He won it the COVID year.
I was gonna say he won the COVID year. That's it.
Yeah. I don't
think
know.
so, but I don't know if he's gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
He'll be one of the last Final Four, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Final
the
Four,
Royal
Final
Rumble's gonna
5.
Yeah, the Rumble's going to be interesting, both on the guys and the women's side, to see
Joe
who
Hendry
at
in
least
that
that
Final
Final Four might be. But
So-
Joe Hendry's definitely gonna be in that Final Four.
So then give me who deserves to be who needs to win the Royal Rumble
John.
in the men's.
I don't think it's anybody established.
So you-
I don't think
so
it's
that's one. And so you would say that's one that needs it more than Drew. Who needs it more than Drew? Would you say Cena needs it more than Drew?
to go after his 17th this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
Okay.
I'd be mad. I wouldn't be mad about that.
Okay, so then is there another person that you can think that needs it more than Drew winning?
Punk.
Jey Uso.
Jay's
you think-
over like
Is Jey WrestleMania main event ready?
He's main event Jey Uso, so yes.
After last WrestleMania.
No. So I want you to really fully think about all of what that consumes. Do you think Jey is ready to main event WrestleMania solo? Everything from the match, the promos, the build-up, all of it.
Yes.
I would have to disagree. I don't think match-wise he's ready. I don't think
It depends on who he's going against. For me, that's why I say, yeah.
If it was him versus CM Punk.
it's still got to be marquee, right? Like they're gonna go for the marquee, and
Is he getting
I
there?
don't
He
think Jey
getting there.
needs it though. At this
Huh?
point, you could
I don't
easily
think
get
Jey
Money in the bank and
I
build
don't
him
think.
up.
Yeah, I think Money in the Bank would be a better favorable for Jey.
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
he needs to win the Royal
Okay.
Rumble. So I don't. So
Oh, yeah,
then
because the pop for him holding the briefcase, running through the crowd with the
Yep, that would
briefcase.
Think about the
come on
suitcase.
now, Yeet the Bank. Yeet
Yeah.
the Bank is gonna sell
Money.
Yeah.
money.
And we didn't get it last year because Drew won Money in the Bank last year.
How about LA Knight?
I don't think
I'm
same
kind of
thing.
off that train.
Yeah,
I'm
and
off.
I don't think he's there to main event WrestleMania. I think he'd be great to be a title holder and have a dope match at WrestleMania. But I don't think the ticket sales are gonna shoot up as LA Knight for the main event.
But that's a weird place where we're in, because I think there's a lot. If we look at like main guys, established guys, a lot of them don't need it. Need the Rumble. Like you can say,
but you got to do it.
I can't see Punk or Cena winning a title without that.
Yeah,
those are two guys who haven't. I mean, Cena hasn't won a match in 2,000 days, like you said.
But like, I remember how was it last year that Tez was in the Elimination Chamber and he showed out? I see that type of spot for Jey, where he has a standout performance in Elimination Chamber.
I can see that. Punk's only goal is to main event WrestleMania. Necessarily, just because it's a main event doesn't mean it has to be a title match. Does it?
Yeah, for night 2, yeah. Because Royal Rumble is automatic night 2 main event. So if it was night 1 and it's technically the main event, I mean, yeah, he got it, but that's the what is he trying to shoot for to go get?
Right.
I think the question would have to ask, like, who's that next champion to? Like, who's next up?
Finn Balor.
Yep.
I
will say this: not Judgment Day Finn Balor, Demon.
We already know what Finn Balor. Hell yeah.
I'd even say this and wouldn't mind it, because it's the ones of what you could build off of it depending on how you want to set this. Now, if we were to say, let's take away that it's the main event for night 2, and let's say it may be for night 1, I could see Karrion Kross winning the Royal Rumble.
I could too. I'm totally with that. I'm so with that. I'm so on board with that.
Because I think you use it now to like sort of like establish like who's like next up.
And not for nothing, he's from Vegas, and WrestleMania will be in Vegas.
Yeah, your main guys don't need the win this time. Cena, sure. Punk, sure. But other than that,
so do you get there? That's what I would say with the way the shape of for that WWE is shaping up with the Royal Rumble. Is it more likely to get a major player to win the Royal Rumble on both men and women, or someone that they're going to try to build behind? What landscape are we at to where it fits better as a Royal Rumble?
We're at this landscape.
Yo, if that happened, I'd lose my shit. If Joe Hendry won the Royal Rumble, I would lose my shit.
The whole thing is
interesting.
Go ahead, sir.
No, you go ahead, because my thought's going to transition to the main event.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, we're in a new era of WWE. Like, what those new era superstars look like. Your Cenas are done after this. Your Punks don't have too much more time.
Our era is fading, y'all.
Exactly.
Our era is old, bro.
It's cyclical, right? Like, well, more cyclical, not more cyclical, but it keeps evolving. So you just keep going to that next superstar. Who's those next up who like we'll be looking at like WrestleMania 42, or like 43, 44, established and main eventing. I think that's why you use the Rumble for this one to sort of establish that.
Yeah, build a new player. So if you're building a new player, then I immediately go to names like Braun Breaker. But I know it's too soon for that.
Is it? It wasn't too soon to put the IC title on him. The kid's been he's skyrocketed. He's a star. We all know that.
I think like the bar been set so high too.
But even though he is one, if I'm being honest, where he is currently, the ones we're thinking about is still in that, and I hate to say it like this, in the secondary title, which is the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's what Braun is ready for. Like, I think Braun Breaker would definitely make a great World Heavyweight Champion.
I see that.
But the WWE Undisputed Champion and toppling Cody, I don't think Braun Breaker is there yet.
Yeah, remember, Cody and Punk were the finals in the Rumble last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just by that alone, and we'll talk about Punk and Seth and the ripple effects of that next. But when I think about the Rumble and how it transitions to Mania, I think about who's going to put on the best match in the main event. And I think they're doing something with CM Punk here. And if I remember last year's holiday tour, me and TK went to out here in LA, they had Dominic Mysterio working with Punk.
Yeah,
Big stripes for Dom.
They were the main event.
This year, they have Punk working with Ludwig, another
Ooh.
technician type of wrestler.
Yeah.
Or this past Christmas season. So like that lets me know they're trying to get Punk in some type of shape to work these like super like work rate type of matches. That's why I feel like he's penciled in for that already. But and then wrestling this match with Seth and going over clean. I don't think Seth carried Punk in this match. And I thought that was going to be the case going in.
Yeah, and I will say, seeing this match, I was definitely wrong about a lot of things. One, this is the exact place where this should have taken place. Because once I saw this finish, I was like, this didn't need to be at a PLE, and this also doesn't need to be dragged
Especially
on.
not a Mania.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't need to be dragged on. Like, y'all could literally leave this right here and go your separate ways. And I would not be mad at that. Like, I don't need to see this dragged on into a feud.
That's an interesting take because I don't think Seth leaves that as is. We saw him storm out angry. This is supposed to be real hate, more so than Punk and Drew.
I'm sure, but I would like it to be more. I want it to be more calculated and something we don't see. I want this to kind of like link, like we're gonna come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to see, yeah, like I don't want to see like, oh, we're gonna get Punk and Rollins again at Royal Rumble. Like I want to see something Royal Rumble. Yo, what if Seth win the Royal Rumble and screw CM Punk out of winning it?
Or screw CM Punk out of his main event of Mania too.
Yo, imagine like Punk like
CM won it before,
I can see Seth being eliminated from the Rumble and coming out and making sure Punk eliminates or is eliminated by him.
Was that Lesnar?
No, I think when we were in Houston, I know he was wearing Chicago Bears colors when he won.
I forgot he won.
Whichever one that was.
That's the Hickenbottom storyline special right there, where he couldn't get his Undertaker match. You will see CM Punk throwing a fit in the outside, like, wait.
Yeah, that was
that
was 2019. He eliminated Braun Strowman.
Yeah, but I could see him screwing CM Punk out of his thing. Like I could definitely see that happening, and then that's the underlining we get back to.
And then later on, CM Punk will revoke that because Paul Heyman will still owe him that favor. That favor is going to come in handy come WrestleMania time, and it has to do with Paul. And it's just about who it's going to be against and who he's going to screw for the main event to be in it.
There's no way it's not clobbering time at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
there's zero chance it's not.
And to be honest with you, I think he's going to pull the trigger to go up against Cody. I think he's going to take it off of Cody. That's the only I see beating Cody is CM Punk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Honey, what'd you think of the match between Seth and CM? And I guess I feel like it was very balanced, but the ending was something I didn't expect.
Yeah, that was definitely. I was not expecting Seth Rollins at first. Like I was going into this thinking like there's no way that he'll lay down for CM Punk, but there was that other part of me that was like, but then again, he might, only because you never say never, obviously, and also CM Punk honestly needed this win a lot more than Seth did. We know what Seth could do. It's just about seeing if CM Punk could keep up. Like he said, 48 is just a number at the post show. So, I mean, if he could still go, then let him still go and, have his final run. If this is what it's going to be. And, considering everything that we just mentioned, as far as like the future of his, of his run and, WrestleMania being involved in the favors and Royal Rumble and how he'll fit into this, we shall see, and we'll know soon enough because Rumble's going to be right around the corner before we know it. I mean, look how fast we got here.
Courtney, what were your thoughts on the match? Was it the outcome you expected, and where do you think the storyline goes from here?
I was very happy CM Punk won that match. I actually did pick him to win, and actually We knew it was going to get physical. We knew it was going to be a little too violent. And we knew they were going to trash talk each other throughout the whole match. And there was no filters in between the both of them. So this did bring a lot of physicality. But between these two, it's far from over. I don't expect them to have a match. I do expect them to continue the storytelling. But it's like, I don't want them to have a match solely on the Royal Rumble. I could probably see like somebody screwing one over the other during the Royal Rumble match, or screwing them out of a title opportunity, or screwing them out of something, possibly leading up to WrestleMania, or even during WrestleMania. I could see one of them screwing the other. So there is a lot of deep personal between these two. And even after looking at the aftermath with Seth, he's like pissed off. And I could actually see him go back to Monday Night Messiah. that was a really solid gimmick for him. And he
only if we taking eyes.
Yes, only. But we shall see Monday Night Messiah, and probably going like a madman.
There's only one thing that I can never recover from that Monday Night Messiah gimmick, and that was ruining Aleister Black's eye.
Oh.
Hey, he been selling that ever since.
He really has.
Listen, and it's no, and you know what? You want to talk about long-term storytelling?
You look at that man's socials. He's still.
Hey,
He's really been walking at different contact over there too. I was like, yo.
Dion, thoughts on the match?
Oh, I mean, I liked it. Again, a lot of move thieves and move thefts within that in that match. But no, I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's over. They'll circle back around again. If this does lead to Crazy Seth, I'm here for it. I think we're all here for that one. But it's interesting because I have my other headphone in. Triple H just said you sort of have to look at this as a standalone Raw, which he didn't want to say that, but he did. He said some things have moved on. Some things were like, you have to look at it as like in this bubble for this week, and we'll progress more of our storylines and stuff next week. So it makes me think everything I just thought might be wrong. Maybe we're not done with anything, but with this Seth, with the CM Punk thing, they'll circle back. That hate's too deep for them to only have a one-off match on the first Netflix of the first Raw on Netflix. Again, solid match. Surprised me. It did surprise me that Seth Punk went over clean though. That came. I don't know if I was expecting that, like a definitive end.
Well, but I think that's what make you know that it's not over because of that.
Yeah. Because I know like the last match on this could not like end in a DQ or anything. It couldn't end in like a run-in, shenanigans, whatever.
Like not for nothing.
Give us the end.
Like not for nothing, Seth. Like your ego must be a little hurt, just a little bit. Like if I was Seth, I'd be feeling a kind of way because Cody beat me, and I still didn't get my rematch from him after I had offered my challenge to him, and then now CM Punk, the man you hate, you can't get a win on him. I'd feel a type of way if I was Seth Rollins right now.
Yo, well, what you just said. What
Keep
if
this
Seth
in mind.
Rollins,
You remember? Maybe it was last month. No, go ahead. Will.
Oh no, you was about to say last month. What? Hold on, because it may tie into what I was going to say.
I was going to say, you remember when Drew McIntyre approached Seth backstage?
Yes.
And then Seth had that big tantrum, like, "Hey, I'm nothing like you."
Right.
He could be spiraling into that, and maybe they align.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what if some way architect wise, Seth pulls something to where it winds up being him, CM Punk, and Cody for the title at WrestleMania, and then Seth walks away the champ.
Taking away CM Punk's WrestleMania win in a main event.
And getting revenge on Cody?
Like the most you'll get is a main event, but you're not getting this title. Oof.
Yeah, he curves on both of them, pick up the title, then we get Seth and Roman. Because remember, Roman's still free agent. And that's what brings him back to SmackDown.
And honestly, that's the real story that it's going to end with. Because they have to. They're keeping Roman and Seth so far away from each other. It's not even funny.
And that's a great
trying to get Mox back. by the way.
Ugh.
That ain't never gonna happen. Man.
And that's a great match to debut for the 2-night SummerSlam.
Oh, we are doing 2 nights, aren't we?
Seth
Yes,
and
we
Roman.
are.
Yes, we are.
Well, that was our 4 matches of the first Monday Night Raw of Netflix, and of course, it was a standalone episode. If you look at it like that. Outside of that, we did get some appearances from some washed-up racists that we don't got to talk about. People that were past their prime.
That was so bad, man. It was so.
Oof, that was a bad PR spot. Bad.
Real American beer.
But it had to have been like obviously a sponsorship deal, and Netflix might have asked.
All I could
Yeah,
think.
that was definitely Netflix.
All I could think.
No. That was Riyadh. That's what that was. I just thought about that. That was Riyadh with that. Because you know,
True.
Riyadh be having them come out all the time.
Man.
But either way,
You raggedy bitch. You raggedy bitch.
Protecting the Royal Rumble in 2026, and I don't get a damn tsunami. Somebody needs to be fired.
All I know is this. I love how his fingers, when he do Hulkamania, just keep coming up higher. I remember we used to do, what you gonna do? Now it's, what you gonna do, brother?
God.
When
He ran out.
I was like,
He
yo.
ran out of there, man. Like he ran. I've never seen Hulk
Didn't
Hogan
even
not
take
take
the
his
whole
time.
shirt off. He
He didn't take the whole one. Like the shirt was still dragging around his pants.
shame.
His leg.
Netflix it looked like an old dude who's at his house watching this. And
Dylan, if you watch this post show, can you clip Hulk Hogan walking away with the shirt hanging down and the lower thirds put the hose?
oh my god, I felt so
Yeah,
bad when he started flexing because I'm like, that's not even muscle anymore. It was.
Y'all can't keep me up this late, y'all. I got.
yo, I
I know
tell
we
you,
got to get up out of here.
I'm making that shirt the hose.
God.
Y'all are too much.
If you make that, please make that. I'm going to remind you to make that.
Can you
Not
make
just
it
that.
into like a
Just
train
him walking
almost
away.
It's gonna,
without
look,
saying
it's,
train?
it's gonna look just like the lower third, and it's just gonna say the hose. That's it.
But that was Monday Night Raw, first episode of 2025 on Netflix. Quickly, and we can tag out after this. What do you guys grade the first episode out of a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, I think it accomplished what it needed to tonight. I'll give it I enjoyed every match. I thought there'd be a little bit more segments, so I'll give a solid like 8. I enjoyed it. It was a fun night.
I'm going with a lucky number 7. It would have been an 8 if I got any Wyatt 6 action, but I didn't.
I mean, but you did. You just didn't see it.
No, I didn't.
Ooh.
I didn't get any action.
Technically, you got it.
I didn't get nothing. I didn't. No.
Because it was a part of it. So
Nah,
I mean,
yeah, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't see it. I didn't see the symbol. I didn't see QR code. I didn't see nothing. I didn't even see Cross or Miz on my screen. So no, I didn't get it. Netflix, you raggedy bitch.
You like Courtney, what's your grade?
I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
You know what? I say 7 just because we got Dwayne and not Final Boss. But I'm gonna move mine to an 8 because Kofi ain't got no mustache. That means that man
That's
about to
evil.
be heinous.
Evil.
Oh man.
If Joe Hendry's at New Year's Evil, I would do that again.
oh yeah.
But no,
Cinema.
that was Raw on Netflix. I appreciate everybody rocking with us for the past 3.5 hours of watch along in the full
4
show.
hours.
We've been on a hiatus, but we'll be back for WWT Live this Wednesday, and we got a Shield debate coming up sometime soon. And of course, our Dynamite watch along, our Honey Night SmackDown. Tuesday Night Pharaoh might be live tomorrow. We might get some video segments because we'll be in the building for New Year's Evil tomorrow night. But let's let the good people know where we can be supported and where they can find you for now here in 2025. Courtney, I will start with you.
People can always find me here. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for WWT Live. You can always find me every week. You can also find me on Wednesday. What is so funny?
This guy has to be like 8.
Oh, yeah.
It's toilet humor, man. It's potty
I'm
humor.
I'm not even gonna look at the comments, but you can always find me every Wednesday doing Dynamite for watch along. Make sure this week we just remember Dynamite will be cast from TBS, simulcast from Max. So feel free to check it out if you have not already. Please make sure to follow Bell to Bell because they have their first event of 2025 next Saturday, Bell of the Brawl. I will be there. It's a possibility I may be doing commentary during that event, but we shall see.
Uh-oh.
So so feel free to check it out and follow them on Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram on @CourtneyNJ11 because I got a lot of new content happening in the coming weeks.
Dion, where can the good people support you?
Yeah, over on All Star Fandom Show on TikTok and Instagram. I got a few shows. Well, we're wrapping up 2 more weeks now for Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I have our Star Wars expert on, Jen. She's great. Filling in the blanks where I don't know about. So check us out there. We'll do it right after the show tomorrow. And then, over here on Women's Wrestle Talk on hopefully Mondays, hopefully Wednesdays. We'll see Fridays. And thanks for having me. Fun watch along.
Honey, where can they find you?
They can find me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. They can also find me on Fridays, double time for WWT Live, as well as the Honey Night SmackDown Watch Along. And find me wherever Wyatt Six City is at. You could also find me always acknowledging my tribal chief and not acknowledging the Cody Crybabies.
Councilman, where can the people find you?
You can find me at
Hey, sit the fuck down, Funaki!
The way I was about to do that next.
You can find me at Sit the Fuck
He beat me to it. I was definitely about to do that exact same thing, man.
You sit the fuck down, Funaki!
oh my god, that clip is great.
Well, it's shot.
Yeah, that fucking clip is so great.
We got guns on NXT now.
Oh my gosh.
It's so weird. It's so great. Oh yeah, you can find me on that on all social media and YouTube and Twitch. I'm making that shirt. We got 2 shirts I gotta make. Sit the fuck down and the hose.
Oh my god.
Adriana the Equalizer Rizzo.
Oh my god.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That's so far the greatest clip of 2025. Oh.
And I guess I'll be found this time around. You can find me on these Twitter streets at says at CEWD_SAYS on the gram at said is the answer. And my website, you can see all my journalism exports at cedricdwelton.com. Of course, the Monday Nightmare watch line will continue to be a thing as long as TK cuts the check and as long as that body butter is in my mail by this upcoming Friday. Don't play with me, TK. Elbows and knees is ashy. Everybody else got body butter but me.
This one, right? This body.
I don't have any. I don't have any.
The product placement. You know, the product placement here. But until then, we will be back on Wednesday for WWT Live, the whole gang, breaking down probably this episode of SmackDown, SmackDown Raw, New Year's Eve, and a bunch of the other news that we've had in wrestling over the past several days into this new year, 2025. Thank you all for joining us. I would name all of you guys, including Mr. Toilet Jokes, but there's too many people to name. So I will appreciate all of you guys for joining us for the watch along. Make sure you keep it locked in 2025. We got a lot of big things on the way. We'll see you on Wednesday for WT Live. Thank you for joining us. This has been Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Peace.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.